Oh, look at you here already. Good to see you. I'm John Zidar. As you know, this is On Top and Hot, brought to you by Pennybois. Everybody knows them because of their hot alerts, PB alerts. But you should get to know Pennybois University. They can give you an education, folks, a true education and training. So what I do here each day is I look at OTC and penny stocks. I look at things that are going to be moving. Sometimes I know exactly what I'm looking at and share that with you. Other times we just do live DD and see what we can scour up. And that's what we're going to do today. So come along with me. I've got it all set up. So what do you think of the joint? I kind of tweaked it out, laid the information out nicely. This will help so we don't have to do so many transitions. We can just keep the flow going. Now what I've got is TOS on one side. That's my trading platform that I use and I got for free. I got it from TD Ameritrade and so can you. Just sign up with them. That's free too. Download it, voila. You don't have to trade with them, but you got to keep the account open. The other side of the page is the OTCmarkets.com site. This is the only site online where FINRA and the SEC deposit information on OTC companies for investors to find. So I always start right here. This is the most current information you're going to find. And outside of that, if I can't find any information here, instead of doing a Google search initially and for our show, I will run over to Twitter. Yeah, Twitter isn't exactly, the Wall Street Journal. It's probably more like the National Enquirer. But the fact is, you got thousands of people bringing lots of tidbits of information that you and I probably aren't going to find in a short amount of time. And we can sort through that stuff on the table and at least see what is probably causing the stock to run right now. All right, over here for my scan, I have it set up for 001 to $5. Did you realize that penny stocks go all the way up to $5? Yes, they do. And it doesn't matter if they're on the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, or the OTC. Wherever they be penny stocks. And I will trade them on any market. It doesn't really matter. And purchasing them is no different. It's all about your broker. Will they or will they not sell OTC stocks? Not all will. Now we've got this set up, like I said, from 001 to 5. We're going to keep out the 0001s. They are more risky and they normally are very unpredictable and take long amounts of time to move. So we're not going to consider those. We're also going to stay away from being tempted. You see this one here for 518%? That's great. We love that. And it was a big bounce. But what it was 100 shares for the whole day. So you can be guaranteed that was one purchase by one person, right? So the chances of there being anything tomorrow left over for us or the week down the road, I don't think so. There wasn't enough interest and the volume proves that. And then we have the last price and the 52-week high. If we're curious or you're curious, you can always pause the video and see it. It will be blue. Now, most of these weren't anything. I did find one with 2 million shares here. This is AMIH. Now, that looks pretty good. That looks very good. They've been flat, even hit a low bubble here for many days. And just yesterday, they started to warm up. Not too sure why. The volume started picking up, as you can see, and all of the SMAs turned up, as did the price, and that price jumped. There were some dips in the day. May have been some scared people here, but look at that payoff for being patient and reading the charts. So we got all the way up here, hit a high bubble, did do its pullback, and is sitting back up on a high spot. Now it's not right there yet, but it is so close that it is a temptation. We can see we had volume. The MACD is at a crossover point right now on the 5-minute chart, and our RSI is just about ready to touch flame. We're just about to go into the heat here. So let's see what we can learn about this stock over on the OTC market. All right, this is American International Holdings Corp. They are on the QB. They're on the middle tier, which is the better tier. That's what they actually call it, the better tier. And this is where companies go from the pink. You want to put your best foot forward, prove that you're a good company. You come here because you have to audit all your records. You got to put all your cards on the table now, folks. So we have transparency. That's what makes it a better company. All right, what can we learn? Let's scoot on down to the bottom of the page. We can get the news highlights and their filings just here recently. No filings recent and no news recent. So we have nothing that stands right in our face. By the way, they do have a verified profile and a transfer agent. You want to look for these green boxes over here. This gives you a backup that the company is all good. So let's see what sort of interest she had today. Relatively speaking, she does just over 250,000 shares and she did just over 2 million today. So that's about 8 times her normal relative volume. Share structure on this one, not bad, 26 million. Pretty good float. Could be 37 million, possibly, but it looks to be like it is 26 million. Now let's come over here and see if the news tells us anything online. No. The company introduced an EPIQ Lux discount program to its MD telehealth platform about 2 weeks ago. But that's all I see here. Quick glance at financials. They are making money. We got 3 zeros here. Throw that behind here. So that was $5.7 million at the end of last year. Not bad. So they are doing something. And you can see they came from nothing. Did 1.6, jumped to 5.7. I mean, that's coming through the COVID. Now, they're with telehealth. Maybe that was a kick for them. Who knows? Let's see if there's any disclosures we may have missed on the front. Maybe an 8K, which would be a material change. That would tell us if they bought something, merged with something. We do have an 8K back here on 8/21 and 3 filing, which has got to do with stock, I do believe. But again, nothing current here. So I am going to run over to Twitter, and we are going to throw that in with the $sign and let them tell us. This is top section. These are the most popular posts that people are reading. I just posted the company introduced EPIQ Lux discount program. Yeah, we just read that. Now this was from 3 hours ago, so I try to make sure what we're looking at is current because we want to know why it moved today. This was from yesterday, introduced this. All right, so they're still talking about news from 2 weeks ago. Brings discounts on ancillary healthcare related services. Company introduces. All right, I don't see anything new here. It's old news, really. You know, you're talking 2 weeks old, and it did have a kick up today. All right, well, for that reason, you know, I can't say that it's going to run tomorrow because you're looking at news that came from the 22nd, the 27th, whichever the case may be. Not yesterday, not today, but you know, if we back up on the chart, we can see that this ran just today. And that news is from days ago. Let me see, that date here is, that's still November 2nd. Let's go back 10 days just to see how it did respond to the news. Let's go 20 days. Wow, that's not impressive. That's the 18th of last month. And this brings you up into the 27th. So nothing happened since the news. There have been no other filings. There have been no extra news presses between then and now. So this whole hush time here was just a lag. And it really took off today without any kick in the butt. It just decided to get out of bed and go. So I can't tell you if this is going to continue tomorrow. But looking at the 5-minute, it is set up. It is still strong. Everything is still churning and burning in the right direction. All right, let's get back here. That was 59,000. I got to remember I'm looking at the volume here. And because of my face down there, I want to keep scrolling so I don't lose you guys. There's 750,000. Well, what was that? That's a big jump right there. That goes from 12 to 29. And that's in 5 minutes? Holy cannoli. What kind of float has this got? And what sort of... All right, now that did have 59,000 shares. I want to take a look at this over on the OTC market. I want to see what sort of float. That's a huge jump, folks. Like I said, that went from 12 to 29. You're talking like 150% jump in 5 minutes. And then it gave it all away. And it's way down here again. So it possibly could go crazy. So I want to see what this looks like over here. I missed my box. There we go. All right, ANP, American Sierra Gold Corp. What is their share structure? 28 million. Yeah, that's low, but it's not ultra low. I mean, it's surprisingly, and let's see, they normally do 7,000 shares a day, 7.5, and today they did about 60,000 shares. So they did about 8 times as much. We're just seeing, you know, that this could be a startup. They did 59,000 shares today. They could do 500,000 tomorrow. You want to be a part of that, right? So we look. This is old news. That's from 2016 and nothing else there. All right, so nothing's jumping out. I'm not going to chase this down. Just wanted to see what that float was because that is a humongous jump. That's AMNP. All right, 750,000 shares looks like that. Hit a high bubble here. Had one heck of a jump there too from a low of 1.33 to 3 1/3. So that was a 200% jump only because it was at a penny. I mean, it moved 2 notches, right? From 1, 2, 3. So it moved 2 notches. Had that been 7, 8, 9, that wouldn't have been considered a 200% jump. It would have been considered, I don't know, maybe a 3 or 5% jump. But because you're at a penny, to 2 pennies is 100%. To 3 pennies is 200%. So that's a huge jump when you're down at the penny or 001 section. I don't see any setup here though, so we're going to blow on by that. There's 1 million shares there at 50% gains. Million shares doesn't show up as very much, does it? What's the 4-hour, 6-month? Whoa. No, thank you. We'll just go on by that one. We'll bring this back up to 5 minutes so we can see it right. 500,000 shares here for 41% gains. That was a good strong climb today with the dip after the high, but that's at 5 minutes each. So you got 5, 10, 15. That's 20 minutes of dipping. That's not a dip. That's a fall. So we're going to go on by that one. But it did have a jump, right? And we really don't know why it jumped. So since we're here, that is why we're here. It doesn't have to always look like it's going to run. We want to find if something is going to run more, and you can't tell unless you look. So I'm going to scroll down to the bottom of the initial page. That's not it. The overview page. And we can check the news, and we can check the filings. And they've got no news, and they got no filings. All right, so nothing jumps out at us. They got 13 million shares in their float. That's pretty bloody low. Do we have any disclosures? No, there's nothing going on here. All right, since we've come this far, we're going to drop it in over here too. See what we can learn. Doesn't look like anything's jumping off this page either. Cryo follow-up news. That's January 6th. January 6th. So there's nothing. I can't tell you, and I'm not going to pursue it. It's not worth it. All right, what big ones we got here? 193. That had a nice jump today, and that was 32% gains. Now, it was a hard day on the market. I got to tell you what. This was a very hard day on the market. We didn't see a lot of big movements in the right direction. And if you got one, good for you. All right, this went from 3 cents up to 4.1, so that's a 25% gain because it went from 3 to 4. Actually, that's a 33% gain. 1 penny from 3 to 4 is 33% of the 3 cents. So that was a 33% gain. All right, there's 35 million right there. That's a huge jump. That definitely had some motivation, and it came late in the day. Though it warmed up before something actually kicked. You can see there was a volume spike there. You can see the volume started picking up too. But it was rising before it actually took off. And it took a big drop at the end of the day. Let's take a look at that on the minute. All right, so we hit a high here. It dipped and then fell, crossed the 20, and it's crossing the 200 hole, and it's coming, well, the price actually went through the 50, which isn't very promising at all. Let's see what BMIX has going for it right now. I'm not familiar with the company. This is Brazil Minerals. They're in the middle tier, QB, 28% gain. They've got their tick boxes. See if there's any information we can get current. 11.8. So they had something come out yesterday. Brazil Minerals adds independent director to its board. Independent directors you have to have if you're going to uplist. If you're not planning on uplisting, you don't need them. Why add them to the company if they have no purpose? All they do is oversee the company from a non-biased point of view. They're overseers. So they've added one of those, which obviously gave some people hope. And here on the 5th, they have a material change. Let's see what it says here. Appointing certain officers, election of directors, exactly what they just got done telling us. So I don't see anything else new here. What is their share structure? Woo, really, really high, 1.7 billion. And how much interest was there in there today? About 3 times. They normally do 11 million. Today they did 35 million. But I don't see anything we're chasing. But that's how you find out. You got to look them over a little bit. Cat TV. Oh, yes. Cat TV, I do believe it or not by this name, this is a cannabis company. Cat TV. And cannabis is... You know, did you hear the news today? JP Morgan is not selling cannabis stocks if they're not on the NASDAQ or on the New York Stock Exchange. So any OTC stocks that sell cannabis and touch the plant will not be sold by JP Morgan. Hopefully nobody else follows suit. And you do realize that those are American companies because American companies cannot uplist to the NASDAQ or the New York Stock Exchange if they touch the plant. A Canadian company can, an Israeli company can, but an American company cannot go on the American major exchanges if they touch the plant. And now JP Morgan isn't even going to sell the OTC versions. So I don't know where that came from. Let's check out Cat TV. Let's see if she has any catalyst going right now. You never can tell with these cannabis companies. Oh, that's not. That is bad. I want to see if it is the company I believe it to be. Our company is in the hemp cultivation and sale of hemp-based products. But you can see right here, they are skull and crossbones. And it's funny too because it says pink current information. Normally you don't see a pink. You see an expert or a gray market, but not pink current. So they've done something wrong. That is a warning from the OTC markets. They're telling you beware of this company. There's something bad about them. Caveat emptor, buyer beware. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to just keep on going. We got 107. We'll just grab that and look. Not too hot. 381. That's a big bounce. 7.8 to 8.9. Kind of squirrely through the day. Nothing to count on. ABCE. Ended the day nicely, actually, but let's look at the bigger picture. That's 1 minute. Yeah, see, she's on a downtrend right now. She hit a low bubble days ago, and that's not what she's recovering from, so we're not too interested. Here's AABB at 54 million. AABB has been hot and cold. Started off as a gold mine company. Maybe they still are a gold mine company. I think they might even have a gold mine crypto token or something like that. But we can see that she's had a solid day of growth there, sideways, and another good bounce today. She's got a high back here. Let's back this up for 20 days. Let's see what we got going. All right, she's been flat. Now, I'm telling you, she did have some hot times. So let's go back 4 hours. Well, they were way back here at the beginning of the year, I guess. Time flies when you're having fun. And there were some big bounces here, but the bounces have gotten smaller and smaller. I mean, really tiny until she was dipping the opposite direction. And when she hit that low, she still didn't quit. She really rode down hard there. You can see, hit that low bubble, came up, but boy, she was fighting, which is a little bit scary until whatever happened here brought in a lot of volume and it took off. And I'm sure if we go look here for AABB on the OTC market, we'll be able to see the news that pretty much had that running. And when was that? The date was 10/28. So let's just come over here to the news, see what we can find on 10/28. 10/21, 10/28. Asia Broadband prepares for imminent launch of proprietary cryptocurrency exchange. Well, there's a big get up and go, right? So obviously they've been working on a crypto exchange. This has been September. I see it going all the way back here to, yeah, they've been talking about this for months. We're all the way back here to July. They were talking about it. So what does it say? Asia Broadband finalizes El Salvador's operation hub for Latin America prior to launch proprietary to cryptocurrency exchange. So that was the 3rd. This is the 9th. So we don't see anything happening right this very minute. Is there any news that may have come online? Nope. This comes from the 3rd as well. How about any disclosures? Anything new they can tell us? No, that was a few months ago and nothing there. So let's go see what the buzz has to say. That is to say, Twitter. Maybe they found something. I mean, it is growing, and it could just be growing because people are excited about the exchange, but there was no date. But then we didn't jump in, we didn't look at the news. There could be a date when they expect it to launch, which is what everybody's waiting for. And you can see they've been talking about it for months. We are in the 11th month, and they were talking about it in the 7th month. Gold, precious metals, 75% acquisitions, propriety, crypto exchange, altcoin. Yeah, there's a nice a nice explanation of what they are. Gold-backed crypto exchange launch. Oh. All right, I'm not seeing anything new here. I think it's just riding on momentum of excitement of what's happening. What's green today? AABB. Yeah, so that's all it really looks like. We've just got momentum built up right from back here when the last letter came out. So they're still talking about the crypto exchange and the altcoins that they're getting involved with. You can check out AABB. There's lots of news and information. Let's just take a look at this chart. Oh, we don't want to look at that chart. We got to make sense of it. Wow, another big bounce from a penny. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, that's 001. Whoa. To 88. Wow, folks, that's 800% gain right there. 800% gain. This is what low bubbles are all about. You hit a low bubble. Let's see how many minutes that took to bounce back. It hit. Doesn't count. Doesn't count. That's 1 minute. So it covered this entire distance in 1 minute. It fell, came back up, hit high, and landed here. So it really doesn't count. But it did look impressive. I'll give you that. That didn't look impressive at all. 16 million shares for Bani, B-A-N-I. Let's scroll up. We are down to 16%. That's not a whole lot of percentage gains. All right, I'm going to stop right here on this one. We are down low. I've got a second page. This goes from the letter A down, and my second page goes from the letter Z up. There may be some crossover, but maybe not as much as we think. All right, let's see here. I'm looking for millions. We got NWTT. Oh, pretty much going sideways, isn't it? Let's look at the 20-day. Wow, it's got some big bounces. I'll give you that. 7 to 1. It's almost a 50% bounce right there. Absolutely. Let me see. What is their high? Their high normally is 0034 normally. Their high is 0034, and today their price is at 0008. We're going to pass on that. Don't like those 000s? Wow. Wow. Okay, that's 1 hour. Come on now. Come on. Well, not a whole lot of difference there. That's 5 minutes, but that was only 10,000 shares. It jumped 56%. It looks like it could be a silver mine, WSLFF. Let's check that one out. Silver Wolf Exploration. They are in the QB. They are in the better market. They've got all their financials audited. What else we got? 11.3. That was a week ago. Silver Wolf engages TerraQuest to perform geographical survey. And no new filings. Nothing here. How much extra volume was there today? There was less volume. All right. Not interested. Doesn't look like anything we really should be stopping at. 64 million for SportsQuest. SportsQuest did pretty good, didn't they? Now, SportsQuest has been growing since they hit the low bubble here. Let's just take a gander back 20 days. All right, so it's been having a hard time through here. And it was just here recently, 3 days ago, that it decided to seriously break away from all of the SMAs. And it is up here right now. Let's come back to that 5-minute, 5-day. So we had 3 good days of gains here. There have been some dips. You can't expect it to constantly be going up. You got to roll with it and read the SMAs and your technicals to make sure that she's not dipping down and away. But this definitely took off. Now let's come in on that last 5 minutes. She looks strong. She had her dip. She bounced back. And she's going sideways in a good fashion. She did have a crossover on the MACD in the 5 minutes. And the RSI, and I mean a negative crossover, not a good one. It's crossed down, which isn't ideal. Not at all. Let's go see what SPQS had going on, because I'm sure SportsQuest had something. Please. All right, this is Pink Limited. I wonder if this has to do with filings. Pink Limited means they're late on their financials. And if they don't get them in fast enough, soon enough, they'll be yanked off the market temporarily in timeout. You can't buy it. I can't sell it. It's just over in the expert market waiting to get their filings caught up. Then they'll come back on the market. So let's see if they've got anything going on here. 11.3, the attorney letter. Looks to me like they put in all the pieces. We've got a couple years here of different financials, and there's the attorney letter since they're not using a CPA. Remember I said they're not audited on the pink. When you go to the QB, you're audited and have a CPA stamp and approve those things. These people don't audit it because it costs a lot of money. It's an expense they don't have to bear. So they do have to get an attorney to look at it and say, yeah, it all looks legal to me. I've gone through the paperwork and it looks good. And he stamps it. So we're waiting for them to go pink current. That normally causes a company to rise. Let's see what their relative volume was. And they did about 50% more today. Just about half as much. And what's their share count like? Horrible. 3.1 billion shares. So I don't see any actual factual news coming to the top here. Nothing. All right. Let's run with this over to Twitter. See if they have anything that they have found. What unbelievable shorting, a stock which has 2 PRs coming and multiple mergers. That's 1 hour ago. So they got 2 news presses. Obviously somebody said something in another news press. We'll move fast with this share structure. Look at that unrestricted shares. All right, let's go take a look at the unrestricted shares. Unrestricted shares, 1.5 billion. How easily are these people impressed? Goodness gracious. I don't see it there. Could resurrect OTC big time. I don't get it. Volume picking up. So they're watching the technicals. They're expecting something, but there's actually nothing on the table. Confirming tomorrow and Wednesday is big day. Well, isn't today tomorrow? Yeah. Okay, so it did rise today. And Wednesday. Couple of more Magnum crypto deals and next stop NASDAQ. All right. Getting the rumors flying, aren't they? Fixing to hit new all-time high, 52-week highs. Whoever is selling off SQ right now, please go eat some 2-week-old Louisiana humidified 100-degree weather molded taints. All right. I see a lot. What's that? SPQS. Yep. Did you know that merger is worth $1 billion? Yes, $1 billion. What do we got here? SPSQS, the Bitcoin mining is just one piece of what made this shoot up. They are finalizing a big merger with one more to come and now are talking about uplisting. If you can add some SPQS on Monday, their share price is currently about 1/10 of its market value, and that's not even with their second acquisition, estimated to be $1 billion total. If you can still get this around a penny, what a steal. Also just waiting for pink current any day. All right, folks, this seems to have a lot of different catalysts right now. I mean, they're going pink. You have got what was it? The merger deal that's up on the table. So there's a lot going on here. I think catalyst upon catalyst is what we should be considering with a lot of speculation. So we didn't get into all the details. We don't know about the company they're merging with. This is SPQS Sports Quest Inc. You might want to do some more homework. Look at their news. Did we see anything over there on the news? Did they actually mention anything? Did we miss it? Company initiates discussions with 12-year-old profitable acquisition. That's from 2013. That's from 2013. Are they quoting? I don't know. You better do your DD on this one, because in many cases, as I said, the Twitter can be more of a National Enquirer than the Wall Street Journal. People will post news and they'll even take a picture of it, but they conveniently leave out the date. And it looks like it's come from today, this week, this month, when it hasn't even come from this year. So be careful what you read over there. Now the stock does look like it's got potential. Let's see here. Let's come out in that 4 hour. Wow. All right, so she's had news back a couple months ago, poked it really good, but it fell right back down. It was short-lived. This was a good fast gain. Don't hang in it if it's not happening. If they're just talking about something they're going to do, take your gains. It's going to cool down. It's going to get quiet. That's the one thing I learned when I trade OTC stocks. When the news comes out, the price goes up. As soon as it goes up, everyone's thinking, this is going to climb to the moon, but it's not. It's going to dip. And even if it's a great stock, it's probably going to dip 50%. So there is no reason to hang on. Take the big gains when it's ripping. It's going to fall something. Buy it in cheaper and get the free gains. We had another huge bounce here. It tried to keep some of that, but really came down even lower than before. Lower than before. But it got higher than before. And it ripped very, very fast. Let's see here. That's from 0045 up to 180045. That's like 400, 500% gains there in a very quick blitz. And it looks like she's trying to blitz again. And we've got a perfect cup forming right there. It's past it actually. It is actually broke and set a new high. Quite curious about this one, to be honest. All right, so she hit her high. She dipped. And like I said, she rolled over. Has she got something left? Well, this is speculation. And what they said tomorrow, we don't know what's happening tomorrow. Maybe something's coming out on Wednesday, but they mentioned Wednesday. So put SPQS on your list. Something is happening and brewing, popcorn's popping, and so is the price. And you may be able to catch yourself something here. Put it on your list, not paper. Put it on a platform like we have here, and you can watch it moving. When you see the volume increasing, get in. Look for your price though. Don't just jump. You never just jump. You look for the dip and get in on the lowest possible point. It's practice, folks, practice. All right, what else we got here? Oh, there's one with 89 million. And it ripped today, didn't it? I mean, it's had a little bit of volume, a couple popes here, but nothing much until today. Today, it just tore it up. It had some big bounces. This is WSGF. And each bounce, it just settled and came back up, and it took another huge dip. Now, this is a very hard dip. Could be the end of the day profit takers by all means. Like I said, they did 89 million shares today. Their high is 21 cents. Right now, they're at just over a penny and a half. What is WSGF all about? Because I don't know a thing about this company. This is World Series of Golf. Now, I wonder if they're really in golf or if they've gone into something else. WSGF, this is 11.9 today. Hey, how about that? Finally, something easy. WSGF plans to launch exchange for real estate-backed cryptocurrencies by year end. Well, there's something new. Now, I don't think we're talking about virtual real estate in the metaverse. We're talking about real estate that is backed by cryptocurrencies. A whole new type of investment. Very interesting. And also today, some more news. WSGF announces name change to Vacachella and issues management update. And the last piece of news, Vacachella steps up revenue growth potential in 100 billion short-term rental market. All right, introduces cryptocurrency and M&A plan for 100 billion short-term rental market. Fintech finance business. All right, you got a picture of what's going on there, and they actually had news today. Lots of it. They actually did a lot more shares, too. They do just under 10,000, and they did just under 90. Or I do mean they did just under 10 million, and they did... all right, let's try that again, folks. They do about 10 million shares a day every day, but today they did 90 million shares. That is 9 times as much volume. Let's hope they have a good small float. No, not at all. And most of it is all out there, too. 747 million outstanding, 730 in the float. However, it does have some good, strong strength right now. These exchanges, there's just security exchanges, crypto exchanges, gold exchanges, diamond exchanges. They're all bursting at the seams right now, and there's lots of companies doing it. And they're giving bigger and bigger bounces because you got to remember, they aren't set up yet. They're telling you they're doing it. They're telling you how much closer they are. They're telling you who's joining them in doing it. They're telling you what they're going to do with it. And every time they come out with one of these and they tell you they're this much closer, you get a bump out of the stock. And if they can keep that up, they can keep the stock climbing for a while. You can see we've been at this for just a little while, huh? All right, let's see what else we got here. Znog had a big gain today. They did 14 million shares. It's been climbing for a couple days. Had a big gain by morning. That hit at, that's 10:30 in the morning. Just a little bit after our bounce. Our bounce came here if you're getting out at 10 in the morning. This went all the way up to 29 cents and it started at 18 cents. So you're looking at over a 50% gain in the morning. And of course you can see it fell and settled somewhere in the middle. Her high is $1.74 and right now she's at 75 cents. Let's see what we can find out over at the OTC market. Seems to me I read something today. I think it might have been a filing. Share count 114 million. Their volume today was 7 times stronger roughly than it normally is. Did they have any news today? No, that's months back. Nothing there. So how about a disclosure? I see no disclosures. So here's another one of those stocks that's moving, but we don't see why. Thank God Twitter's got other people looking around for us, eh? So what can we find out? Everyone is green on TGGI. Yeah, TGGI has had some news. Chinese company has solidified stuff over in China for the move. And it turns out that the filing that they did for TGGI was not done with FINRA. It was done with the SEC. It wasn't done with the 12G, which is for the OTC market. It was done with the 12B, which is done for the NASDAQ market. So TGGI could be uplisting. That's what everyone's talking about. So what else we got here? Znog, share price continue to rise, still no PR. Have they struck oil? 3 hours ago. Starter for me. Share price to rise, announcement of joint venture with top U.S. firm ready for release. All right, that's a rumor. We don't have any links or pictures of information. That could be ancient too. I don't see people watching the technicals moving this afternoon. Today's top gainers. All right, so my current swing play broke. I'm not seeing anything here, folks. It looks like It picked up some volume and it got interest for volume. There is no real new news. There is no real new filings. There's no information. So who can tell you why this one moved? It just did. Speaking of TGGI, there it is. 392 million shares today. It really blasted off here. Really took off from 008. Let's go back 20 days. She even had a dip. So she has been riding. Now I know she's risen a little bit, but we're in the double zeros here. And you can see she has taken a lot of attention. And this is the one I was just telling you about. This is a $6 billion Chinese company that's been doing business for years over in China. They sell this very peculiar, particular wine over there that's very, very, very popular. But it's not sold here in America. We don't know what it is. And their stock is not sold in this country, and they want both. Well, the CEO of that company is the CEO of TGGI, and all the paperwork has been being done for the last year. There's newspaper articles. You can look up TGGI on Google, and you'll see newspaper articles of them talking about the companies signing papers. You can see a picture of it in the newspaper, right? So we've had a big gain here. There was a drop off. You got to expect some profit takers here. People took their money, and then people started talking and information started hitting the table, and now nobody wants to miss being a part of about a 3 penny stock that is going to be merging with a $6 billion company and probably most likely uplisting to the NASDAQ. Who knows of a $6 billion company? Well, I guess there are a few billion-dollar companies on the OTC. Come to think of it. Heineken is multi-billion, and they're on the OTC. So it looks like it took a dip at the end of the day, but it only came down to the 50. Only came down to the 50 and bounced on that, came back up, and is sitting pretty just as if she's doing her normal routine. Could it fall? Sure, it could fall. It's all running on speculation. Piece of news could drop and it could say it's bull. I don't know. But I am invested in this. I'm invested for the long run. I got in on this at a penny. I timed it out. I got in on a penny. So every time it goes up 1 penny, I make 100%. 1 to 2 is 100. 2 to 3 is 100. So if it hits 5 cents, I'm 500% up. And I'm riding this because, well, oh my goodness, folks, how much is it going to be worth? Now, consider this, and we haven't mentioned this. This company, let's look at this. If we come over here to TGGI, they have quite a few shares. I was talking to a friend of mine over at Pennybois. Hello, Nick. I was talking to him, and we were talking about this company, and if they're going to uplist, they've got to get the price up to $3 to $4, and it's at 2 cents right now, almost 3 cents. So they would have to do a reverse split. We've got 8.4 billion shares in the float. It's ridiculous, folks. It's just utterly ridiculous. But there's plenty of room to uplist. That's going to happen. The problem is if they divide this by, 100 would take that to 270. So if it makes it to 3 cents, all they would have to do is a reverse split, 1 in 100. So if you have 100,000 shares, after their reverse split, you're only going to have 100. 100 shares of a $6 billion company on the NASDAQ. So consider that if you're invested in TGGI, and they are going to uplist. However, in saying that, there's probably some big short-term gains before they get there. Don't quote me on that, but that's what I'm hoping for. So what else we got here? We're going to be cutting this short because we are down to 22%. We only went down to 16% on the other one. This one looks good for a morning bounce tomorrow, folks. This one had a nice gain today. Let's back that up so you can see. She has been growing continually for what? Well, no, that's a down. So we had one, even though it fell, it closed higher than the day before. So don't count that as a down day. That is up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 days. Now maybe this one is down. Maybe that one is down. All right, you caught me. But you can see this is growing strong and getting stronger. And this is very strong at the end of the day. Lots of volume, pushing the price over its support into a new high bubble. MACD is surging and the RSI is on fire. This looks good for a morning bounce. Put MJWL Magic Wheel on your watch list. Let's go see if Magic Wheel has any news to keep it rolling. We see she has 650 million shares. She did about 50% more on her volume today than normal. We don't have any new news. They've been Magic signs LOI to acquire majority interest in PSEX cryptocurrency exchange. Another exchange. And that's back, and that's something that's going to happen. Hasn't happened yet, right? This is a conference where they're just talking about themselves. Every time you see people going into conference, they stir up new investors. So don't get bored by seeing that. That's just one of those things that brings people in, and you say, why is the price going up today? If you check, there may have been a conference they just left 2 days ago, and people are investing today. All right, I don't see anything here that is jumping out. Financials, they're not making any money. And disclosure-wise, no, they're paying current. I don't see anything. 1120, that's 2014. Nope. No, so whatever has got them running, it isn't because of anything that's over here on the OTC market. That doesn't matter, though. You can get things moving for a lot of reasons besides what's posted on a site. So this is set up for tomorrow. I would watch this for a morning bounce. And if not a morning bounce, you may want to do some more investigation in the Magic Wheel because they have been on a steady growth. A nice swing play maybe, folks. All right, I think we're going to call it right there. Let's do one more. We'll do one more. Viper. They did 56 million shares today, only 15% gain. Had a big jump in the morning, sure did. And that ended at 10:30. 10:30. You could have got it down here at 10. So where did it jump from? It jumped from 006 up to 008, roughly. So about 25% gains there, roughly. And she gave most of it away. About half, actually. You know, I can see that that is about the halfway point right there. And she's hanging on it. She is just hanging on that up and down. Now, I just spitballed that, but you can see she's hanging across that, and that is always a good sign of strength. The company's hanging on to most of its gains. I always expect a stock to fall back that far. If it doesn't, good. But if it does, I'm not surprised. If it goes below it, then I'm depressed because it's normally going to fall much further than just underneath. You can see it hangs on when it goes just underneath. Okay, let's see what Viper has to say. I know Viper. I played Viper a couple times, but I'm not real sure what she's been doing here recently. What was the excitement value on her today? Less. Yeah, she normally does 60 million. Today she only did 56 million shares. Her share count, explosive. We got 5 billion shares over there. Are they making any money? They just started. Put 3 zeros behind that. It says they made $10,000 last year. And what about their financials? They're all up to date, but they've got no new filings. So the last thing we got is news. Anything on news? Viper Networks is committed to bring substantial revenue, clarifies rumors of reverse split, reduces debt by 12 million. No, nothing new. And Network Viper is committed to bring... No, I don't see anything happening here. This is one of those stocks that does run on rumors. So let's go see if we can find any rumors on Twitter. Viper going back to 15. That's good. Viper about to smash through its 10-day volume average. Viper, don't see any chatter on this ticker. I believe they're going to benefit greatly from this infrastructure bill. Okay. What do they do? Hopefully they've updated their company profile. Apollo Smart Lights product has a full selection of intelligent LED lighting solutions that can easily be deployed into metropolitan areas, parking lots, warehousing facilities. Smart poles and smart LED lighting is not only efficient, but has the ability to incorporate a variety of technologies. Yeah, like drones. Drones could land on it. You could be charging your vehicles, your scooters, even your phones. You could have that right there with it. I've seen a lot of things for light poles and telephone poles. They've been coming up with a lot of ideas. So yeah, that could be something they could grow from. And with the infrastructure just being approved, right, that could be the catalyst that it needs. What is the big picture on this? Did we take a look yet? Oh, how sad. It has been running downhill with the bumps up and down, hit a low bubble and has come off of that. Is it going to recover? Goodness gracious, folks, I don't know. Is the infrastructure, if they get a contract, you know, if some city comes to them and says, we want to do our entire city with these, or we want to do a portion of our city with these, that could really make the difference, because then they would get more and more contracts. And how many cities are there in America? So it could be great business for them, but that's all speculation and that's all projection. At this point in time, let's look at the 5 minute. It has been climbing regularly, not steadily. There's been a lot of ups and downs in this. It is above the 50. It is staying above, the 200. The 200 SMA, it is above and it's staying above that. That looks good. Let's see what it looks like on the 20-day. We've got the 200 average haul coming around and it's following that. It did just get on to the 200. It is on top of the 200 on the hourly, which is very good. You could see it went sideways, basically waiting for this to get close enough to stretch out and grab it. That's why a lot of stocks go sideways. They're waiting rather than being able to not reach it up, or rather than falling, they wait for the line to come to them and then they'll tag it and do what they need to do. This is actually promising right here. That looks very good. And looking at this, I can see it sitting right on its support right now. So if it comes below that, if it comes below this, and that was just spitballed, if it comes below this, looks to be about 0.07372. If it goes below that, chances are it's going to fall some more. How far? It's hard to tell. It could come all the way back down here to 0.065. But if it stays above it, there's a very good likelihood it's going to push up to 0.007 and go further. So I like Viper. Viper doesn't look all that bad, actually. Well, we had to keep that under an hour, barely did. Live DD can just go on and on. You don't realize how much time is flying as you're learning all this stuff. We found some good stocks, interesting stocks, some that looked like they could be short swing plays, maybe even longer. We got some good speculative plays in there. A lot of them have been moving, even a couple morning bounces, so I hope you took a list there. Don't waste my DD, but don't let my DD be the end of it all. You see what I'm doing. You see where I'm going. You can find scanners anywhere and get this information. Go over to the OTC market. See what you can learn. Come up with your own list. Play your own game tomorrow. Remember, folks, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See ya.